Hello, music fans. Today I'm reviewing an album by the 20 Committee called The Cycle Undone, released on December 12th, 2023. It's a progressive rock album. It's got some jazz and some musical theater influences in there as well. It's the second album by this American band. Their biggest influences are the likes of Steven Wilson, Neil Morse, Chick Corea, Gentle Giant, Renaissance, Big Big Train, and Hiromi, as well as the musical theater composers Stephen Sondheim and Adam Guedel. So if you're a fan of that mix of artists, definitely check this out. And I haven't done any lengthy proper album reviews on my channel before because I usually focus on listening to about 6 to 9 albums a week and then giving really quick first impressions on them. And while I found a lot of great music doing that this year in 2023, I think for 2024, I want to be able to spend more time with the albums that I find that I love and go deeper with them. So that probably means I have to listen to fewer albums. So this is my first experiment with this kind of format where I listen to an album more times and go a bit deeper. I figured I'd do it for this album since Jeffrey Langley kindly reached out to me and sent me a promo copy. The CD is still in the mail, unfortunately, but I'm reviewing based on the digital copy I got since I want to get this review up before Christmas when I'll get busy with family stuff. But let's start with the album art. Imagining that I have the physical copy in front of me, you can see I've shared my screen here so you can see a digital version of this art. Uh, Even though I don't have the physical copy yet, I looked closely at the art in this digital copy. The art's by Armada Project, and then the CD and vinyl design and layout is by Nick Kullick. Now, on the front cover, you see something that to me looks like a futuristic city skyline. You can see some things flying around in the air. They don't look like airplanes to me, they look like spaceships. Then you've got a few people at the bottom here. They look like they're walking towards this smoke um, that's underneath this big centerpiece building that looks like a futuristic castle with a spaceship on top of it. Now I love this. It's already got my attention. Very cool. Let's look at the second picture. So the second picture is looks like the same city set with a red sky and a really gigantic moon or planet nearby. So maybe this isn't even Earth that we're looking at. Maybe it's somewhere else because like I've never seen a planet or moon or I mean if that's the sun, I figured this would be a lot brighter. It looks still kind of dark, so it must be a planet or moon. I've never seen anywhere on Earth where a planet or moon gets that close and that big. So maybe we're in a different planet. I also see some kind of other planetary body or something over here. Um, cool. And then let's look at the back cover. So this is looks like the same city, but we clearly see a robot here on the rooftop looking over the city, some other flying stuff in the air, and then you see the track list here. So this is great art, love it. Now let's talk about the music composition. The track list here we got Recodified, which starts with a lengthy instrumental opening with lots of great playing from everyone on the album. There's great keyboard solos on here. There's some intense dissonant parts of this song that remind me of some of the more menacing moments from King Crimson's catalog. Um, the vocals then come in at 4 minutes and 35 seconds into the song. This is a 12-minute and 20-second song to open the album. So lengthy, not like super epic length as far as prog goes, but still pretty long, kind of a mini epic. The vocals come in at 4:35. They sound really great, soft and beautiful. Closer to the end of the song on here, you get some cool time signature changes to sections with 5 beats per bar, I think. And then at the end of the song, it's like an intense jazzy instrumental with lots of cool lead playing. On the second track, Sparks in the Mind. This is a shorter track, just 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Starts with 6 beats per bar goes into some 5 beats per bar, where there's a cool section with lead vocals and multiple harmony backing vocals doing the ba 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 kind of 5 beat per bar rhythm behind there. Then we kind of switch back and forth between 6 beats and 5 beats throughout this song. Embers is the third song, 5 minutes and 42 seconds long. This is one of the softer songs on the album, I'd say, and it's very beautiful. On song 4, A Star in the Eye, that one's 5 minutes and 22 seconds. It's a more straightforward song. It's simpler than most of the others on the album, but very well done still. Then we get to Forevermore, the 5th track, that's 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Another great song with a great vocal melody. Then we get to the 6th song, The Cycle Undone. This is the long, epic song on the album. It's 13 minutes and 40 seconds. It's my favorite track on the album. I'd say it's the obvious centerpiece of the album. You have amazing piano to start here. Then we get some great vocals, great melodic guitar solo from 5:19 to 5:50. And then at 5:50 to 6:06, a great vocal part that I assume is the guest feature here, Annie Haslam of Renaissance, comes in, and she's great. She sounds great. At 6:17, it almost sounds like it starts another song entirely, because the vibe changes from this sad, soft and beautiful song to a more upbeat, rocking guitar riffing and driving beat. 8:40 to 9:23, we have just great vocal part as well that sounds like Annie Haslam, and it's really epic when she goes really high pitch here. Then after that, Jeffrey Langley and Annie Haslam do some back and forth male and female vocal interplay that's just really excellent stuff. Track 7, we have Robot Death, which is 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Another more straightforward, soft song with a great guitar solo, though. There's also a great catchy na 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 part with lots of great harmony vocals right before the epic guitar solo. And then the last track is just a short 1 minute and 4 second song, a nice short piano outro for the album that ends it off quite nicely. So every song here just has amazing performances from everyone involved. They got some really great collaborators on this album with some big names who have a lot of experience. So let's talk about the lineup here. We have Jeffrey Langley on lead vocals, keyboards, synthesizers, and organ. He joined Renaissance back in 2016. And then I guess this is more of his project where he's kind of the creative force. So the 20 committee is his baby. And then we have Justin Carlton on background vocals, acoustic guitars, electric guitars, and additional keyboards on track 1, 2, and 5. We have Joe Henderson on background vocals, drums, and percussion on track 7. Jeff Bishop on lead guitar, additional background vocals, track 3, 4, and 6. And Richmond Carlson on bass. He plays harp on track 4 and additional background vocals on track 2 and 4. So that's the band. Now let's talk about the guest musicians. We have Laura Langley playing the auto harp on track 4. And then we have the big guest, Annie Haslam, doing vocals on track 6, the epic title track, The Cycle Undone. And I'd say her vocals are really a highlight of that track. She's well known from her work with Renaissance, a band she joined way back in 1971, and she has a solo career as well. It's great to hear how strong her vocals are still at the age of 76. She's clearly taking great care of her voice and is a gifted singer. The drums on this album were recorded at Studio X. The engineer there is Rave Tesser, who joined Renaissance in 2001 as the keyboard player and worked with the Annie Haslam band. Annie's vocals were recorded at Catapult Sound. The engineer there is Brett Cull, who's the guitarist and vocalist from Echolin. The Moog and organ were recorded at MT Overdubs with engineer Matt Thomas, and everything else was recorded at the Pawn Shop with the engineer Jeff Bishop. All the music here is by Jeffrey Langley. The lyrics are by Jeffrey Langley and Justin Carlton. The mixing's by Jeff Bishop. It's produced by Jeffrey Langley and Jeff Bishop and mastered by Larry Fast, who is a great synth player and composer known for his series of synthesizer music albums called Synergy. as well as contributions to work by Peter Gabriel, Foreigner, Nectar, Bonnie Tyler, Hall & Oates, Tony Levin Band, and Kate Bush. So lots of people with great resumes working on this album. Now let's talk about the lyrics, something I don't usually dive into much on my channel because I'm not a lyrics expert. I primarily focus on music, but I wanted to dive in a bit since I'm doing a lengthy full review of this one. The general vibe of these lyrics is this futuristic utopia that might actually be more of a dystopia, actually. I get vibes of artificial intelligence, environmental destruction, God, religion, and possibly brainwashing, almost like a cult. On Recodified, lyrics seem to describe a potential utopian future paradise, but there's a bit of a sinister undertone to it that seems to imply that people have been brainwashed and that all dissent and disagreement have disappeared from the world. It sounds like maybe there's some kind of religious cult or something that's kind of mind controlling everybody. Second track, Sparks in the Mind. I think it carries on the themes from the first track. So it becomes clear to me at this point as I'm reading the lyrics that this is a concept album. Each track is kind of talking about the same theme, the same world. And then track 3, Embers. Sounds like in this future world, like wilderness and nature have been lost. And as I'm reading lyrics for track 4, Star in the Eye, it sounds to me like this is a song written from the perspective of someone who's trying to understand the world and to find God. And track 5, Forevermore, this song makes it a lot clearer to me that we're talking about some kind of futuristic AI machine, likely a sentient robot, I think, with lines like, in this moment, I calculate the life the programmed mind may never know how to see, how to feel, how to measure worth against a soul that cannot be, and all I've seen in this machine forevermore. And another line is, all I know rested on the ones and zeros that echo in my sleep. So it sounds like a robot kind of contemplating, understanding the limitations of its own programming, but maybe longing for more. The Cycle Undone. Again, this song sounds like it's written from the perspective of this sentient robot. Maybe the album is implying the robots are starting to gain consciousness and maybe they're going to take over or something. This might be like I don't know, Terminator or like Uprising of the Robots situation here. I noticed the lyric, we have assumed control. I wonder if that's a reference to the Rush track in 2112, where they have the same lyric. This album has a similar futuristic dystopian concept to Rush's 2112. So maybe there's some influence there. It wasn't listed. Rush wasn't listed as one of the key influences, but I thought that line, we have assumed control, sounded very familiar and reminded me of Rush. And since it is a prog band, it doesn't seem too big of a leap to think that there might be some influence there. And we've got Robot Death. The lyrics on here, there's some cool lyrics like limits gone but safety's off, which makes it sound like the sentient robots have found a way to get outside of their programming and do things that safety programming wouldn't let them do before. So not sure if the title Robot Death means the robots are dying or if they're actually killing humans. But the line, we strike against the heart of this, makes me think the robots are uprising and killing humans. If anyone from the band watches this review and would like to shed some light and bring some clarification to my questionable lyrical analysis, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I was never great at analyzing poetry in English class in school, so I could be way off here with my whole understanding of what's going on, but I think I'm onto something at least. And then the last track, of course, is instrumental, so it doesn't have any lyrics. Now, this album's great. The main critique I think that I can give this album is that I don't hear too much innovation or treading of new territory of sound that I haven't heard before. Their sound is somewhat unique, but it's unlikely to stand out as truly innovative and memorable for me in a year where I listen to over 400 new albums. The production on this album, though, is great. The album flow and sequence also really works well, and I love the concept. I love all the performances, the composition, the playing. So a really great album. In terms of comparing it to their earlier work, I went back and listened to their first album, A Lifeblood Psalm from 2013, as well as I was working on this review. I like that a lot too, but I think this new one is a slight improvement on what was already excellent work. Now, I'm at the point of the video where I want to give an overall score at the end here. But before giving my rating, I want to quickly talk about the rating scale that I plan to use in my album reviews going forward. This is open for suggestions for improvements, so let me know if you have suggestions, but this is what I came up with. It's like a 8 category rating. At the very top category, we have masterpiece. Buy a physical copy of this now. Each year, there's only usually like 1 to 10 albums that I would give this rating. The next level down will be near masterpiece. Each year, there's usually 10 to 30 albums that would get this rating, and this is near masterpiece. Digital, download this now, at least, if not buying a physical copy as well. The next tier down from near masterpiece will be excellent, listen now. And then next one down from that will be very good, listen if you're interested. Next one down from very good will just be good, listen if you're interested. Then we've got the next tier down from good, which will be average, listen if you're interested. The next tier down from that will be below average, which I would say don't waste your time listening to that. And then the bottom tier will be not good, run away. So for this album, what am I going to give it? I think I'm going to give it an excellent, not quite near masterpiece or masterpiece. The only thing holding me back from getting this to a near masterpiece or masterpiece rating is that I'd like to see that more innovation, see them treading more new territory of sound that I haven't heard before. As well, I'd like for the hooks on the album to be even more memorable. Those are just my 2 minor nitpicks that are holding this back from getting my masterpiece score. I think this band is capable of making a masterpiece, so I'll be keeping my eyes on what they do next. I'm looking forward to hearing more from the 20 committee in the future, maybe hopefully even seeing them live one day. Thanks for listening. If you listen to this album, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments. Or if you haven't listened to this album, what are you doing? I just gave it an excellent rating and told you to go listen now. So go listen to this album and then come back and comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. Also comment if there's any other albums coming out in the near future that you want me to do a review for, as I hope to start doing more of these lengthy album reviews on my channel. Stay tuned until next time. Peace out.